Have you ever felt a heavy, cold stone in your heart after being mean to someone you love? Today, we will discover how a little girl named Zuri found a magical way to make that stone disappear. The bright African sun cast long, golden shadows across the dusty yard. Zuri and her little brother Kofi sat together on a woven grass mat. They were busy building a tall tower out of smooth, hand-carved wooden blocks. Suddenly, both children reached for the very last red block at the same time. "It is mine for the top," Zuri shouted with a very loud voice. Kofi pulled the block back and refused to let go of his prize. In a sudden flash of temper, Zuri grabbed the block with a sharp tug. She pushed her little brother aside and stood up with a mean look. The tall tower they had built together crashed down into the dirt. Zuri marched away to the shade of a large mango tree. She held the red block tightly, but she did not feel like a winner. Behind her, little Kofi sat perfectly still, with tears rolling down his cheeks. Zuri tried to start a new game all by herself under the tree. However, the yard felt very quiet, and the birds seemed to stop singing. Winning the argument felt much lonelier than she had ever expected. Their mother walked out of the house and sat quietly beside Zuri. "A toy can be replaced, but a brother's heart is very fragile," she said. She looked into Zuri's eyes with great kindness and waited for her to think. Mother explained that it takes a very strong person to admit a mistake. She told Zuri that saying sorry is like a bridge that fixes broken things. Zuri looked at the red block and finally felt ashamed of her anger. Zuri's heart felt heavy and tight as she watched Kofi from afar. She remembered all the times he had shared his sweet mangoes with her. She realized that being right was not as important as being kind. Zuri stood up slowly and walked across the yard toward her brother. The red block felt very light in her hand as she reached out. Kofi looked up with sad eyes, wondering what his big sister would do. "I am so sorry for being mean and taking your toy," Zuri whispered. She placed the red block in his hand and knelt down in the dust. Kofi's face brightened instantly as he saw the kindness in her eyes. Kofi dropped the block and threw his small arms around Zuri. The heavy weight in Zuri's chest vanished like mist in the morning sun. They both started to laugh as the sadness flew away from their home. They sat back down on the mat and started to build the tower again. This time, they took turns and helped each other reach the very top. The tower was much stronger because they built it with love and peace. Zuri learned that saying sorry is the bravest thing a person can do. It takes a big heart to realize when you have caused someone pain. She promised to always protect the happiness of her little brother. The sun began to set, painting the African sky in shades of purple. Their mother smiled because she knew her children had learned a great truth. Kindness is the thread that keeps a family together forever and ever.